Hello everyone, Professor Halsey here, and today we're going to look at our Module 7 project for Replit. And yes, we've made it to Module 7. So scroll way on down here to the bottom, and you'll see Creating a Graphical User Interface. And this is the one that's due by the end of the week. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download this file, the project guide. And when I say download, when you get here, make sure to hit download so it pulls it off of this web page, and then I can open it in Word on my computer. Otherwise, if I'm trying to copy and paste information to and from to it, it's that may be causing you some issues because it doesn't always copy and paste correctly. Then here I also need to hit enable editing so that it allows me to copy and paste again correctly. So if you've had any problems with your files in the past, make sure you go back and try to download them and make sure you enable editing. And now that I've got that one, I'm going to close this and come back and get the deliverable. And I'm going to do the same thing with it. I hit download, it comes up in my downloads, and I can open it and enable editing. And that allows me to put my information on there. So if you don't click that, you can't paste your screenshots on there. And yes, I've had people call me and ask me about that. It won't let me put my information on it. Yes, it will. You have to enable editing. Otherwise, you're not enabled to edit. All right, the last one we want to get is this stockgui.txt, and you can grab either one. I suggest clicking the .txt file. And what I want to do here is copy all of this. And then I'm going to open my notepad. And paste it here. If you don't have Notepad, feel free to go right to Replit. And we'll come into Replit. And I'm clicked on my folder for 3 dots to add a file. And you can see down here it gives me a blank file, and I can put in stock underscore, and I want uppercase GUI .py. Okay. Okay, once it gets finished, it'll let me click on it and load this page, and I can click here and then paste, or Control V to paste my code. And here's my stock GUI. Okay, it's real important we make sure it's in the same folder with all of our other information so that we can come over here and access it. All right. I am using TK Enter. Apparently it's not giving me a hard time with that, so I'm going to stick with it for now and see if it works. Now I do have my replit.config file open, and if you can't find it, it's down here in config files.replit. And we want to, instead of running stock menu, now we want to run stockgui.py. In other words, the customer called and they really like it, but they want the GUI and they're willing to pay for the extra development time. Okay, so we're going to use stubs programming in this. Some of it's already done for us that we did in the other code, and our colleagues have put it together for us. And what we're going to do is come in here and just run it and see what's going on to start with. Okay, I had to click on my output window and then refresh it. For some reason it didn't load the first time, but no biggie. We're going to enter just something here. I like doing my name just because there's nothing else really that important about it. And it should be showing this module is under construction. So that was the message for that pop-up window or message window. Okay. And all of this right now is actually under construction until or most of it is until we come in and implement the rest of the code. So you can see here we got web. We can import CSV from Yahoo Finance. Chart, display the stock chart. We have history and the report. So we're going to implement some or all of this and get this up and running. Okay, so here let's take a look at the code and make sure you put in your name as the author. And if there's any D numbers in there, not sure. I know they're coming from where we copy the code sometimes from the directions, but make sure you're updating your D number and your name in there, because if you're submitting work with somebody else's name and D number on it, that could be seen as plagiarism. So make sure that you're making this your work and taking the time to put your name and the current date. I don't know where it brought that other date up from. I guess from the date the document was made. And yeah, I even like that it's putting in a version number with it. So that's pretty good. This is our version 1. All right. Next thing we want to do is come down here and where it says Stock Manager, I want to add my name in here. So you can add your first name, your last name, a combination of the two, but you want to personally identify this as your Stock Manager. And you can see some of the GUI code here, and they've done a good job of creating the comments. So you know this is creating a window. Here's the add menu that would go on there. And here's heading information. Here's the add stock list. Here's the add tabs. So up where you have the tabs, there's different ones. We had manage, history, and report. You can see those there. And up here you can see where it says display stock chart and import CSV from Yahoo Finance. So you can see where it's making these menus and the menu bar up top and the different tabs. All right. So here is the setup for the main tab. We have add stock, get the symbol, the name, shares, the new stock button where we click to add it. We'll have a delete stock and button as well, so that we can go in and delete stocks. And what we'll see is we scroll down a little bit more. The display stock data, the add stock, and the delete stock modules are all under construction, and those are the ones that we are going to complete here today. And if we come down just a little bit further, the display chart, so we're going to take care of those in particular today. And the other parts are already put together for us, so once we implement these 4 methods, we'll be done with our portion of the project, and it should be working. Okay, so let's look back at the directions. I think I've kind of skipped around on those and more or less just gone through the basic setup, making sure we got in and got started. We ran the GUI stock and we're looking at what comes up when we ran it. And you can see here examples of what's going to happen as soon as we get this completed. Okay, we've explored the stock GUI program and it's implemented as a class called stock app and it's instantiated in main. And we kind of looked at that in the code. All right, and then they're describing a little bit of the code there for us as well, so feel free to read through those sections so you understand exactly what's going on in those sections. Okay, so here's kind of where we are, methods to implement, and I'm on page 5 of 10. And now we're going to write the code to implement the display stock data. And we're going to copy this portion into our code. Okay, so I make sure I get to the beginning of the line, the very first line, and come down, and we're going to copy to the end of the last line. Control C to copy, and then I'm coming back to my replet and placing this under the display stock data. Yes, this one here, display stock data. And because of the way I copied it, I want to get to the beginning of the line and then paste. And if I do it that way, it should have, but it didn't. I mean, Control Z, undo that. And I guess I'm going to have to come in here where message box is and paste it there. Let's do that. And I missed it. I guess it means it was in the right place because then it looked right. And though it's still not sure here, we will check it out. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's good. So let's scroll down to our ad stock. And what we're going to do for ad stock is outlined here in our instructions. So we have the add stock method. It's called when the user clicks the new stock button. And once we do that, we're going to take self.add stock and make that equal to the add stock group text, which is where we pull that information from. Okay, and then we're going to get ready to set that up as a new stock. First, we'll create a new stock object, and then we call the constructor passing the data that the user entered. So self-add symbol entry.get retrieves the symbol that the user entered into the box. So before we were using the input command to get it from the console window. Now we're using the get command to get it from the window where the user entered the information. All right. then add the new stock object to the stock list, and then we'll add the symbol to the end of the stock list box. Then finally we need to delete, and I don't like the term delete here. We actually clear the text entered by the user for the symbol, the company name, and shares. So once you add it, it should go blank again. So if you want to enter another one, you don't have to delete stuff to be able to enter the next one. Okay, so here is our pseudocode, and we're going to take a look at this one step at a time in our code over here. Let me get my split screen going so we can do both at one time, or see both at one time. So we're going to create the new stock with the stock symbol, name, and shares from the GUI. And they give us the hint there, new stock equals stock dot self dot add symbol entry dot get. And that's what we're using. That dot get command is our new input command. And so we have to get all three of those variables from that window. Then we'll create our new stock. Okay, so we'll start here. Okay, so like they said, we'll start with a new stock, and it's going to be equal to the stock. Okay, so here we go. New stock is the, and then we add to stock the symbol, then the name, and the shares. All right, and yes, our next move is to take the stock list and append the new stock to the end of it. And then we're going to take our stock list and insert into it. I don't think this is quite right, but yeah, end, and then add symbol entry dot get. So this is not correct here. I'm going to go with the end, so it does the insert end, and we'll do self dot add symbol entry dot get. Okay, and now we're gonna clear the user entries, and yes, self add symbol entry delete 0 end, and add name entry delete end. Yes, awesome. I love Replit. Add shares entry delete. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to move on to delete stock, and in this one we're going to start with the symbol, and our symbol is equal to the self.stock list. Pay attention to the uppercase there. .get. From the self.stock list .current selection. And that is a method, so I need a set of parentheses there. Okay, Now we're going to start with a counter I equals 0. And for stock in self dot stock list, yes, beautiful. If our stock dot symbol, just like we did before, if our stock dot symbol, come on, is equal to symbol, yes, perfect. Then we want to pop the stock dot I, perfect. That's exactly what I want it to do. And once we do that, we come back a level and increment our counter. Okay. And then we want to go back a level. And then we're going to call our display stock data. Sorry, and then we're going to clear the, that didn't work. Hang on, display data. Surprised it didn't give me an error there. And then we want to pull the stock list. And delete. Zero end. Okay, and then we're going back through the stock in our stock list. And if these, yeah, we'll do a stock list dot insert in stock dot symbol. Yes. I'm not sure why it's not liking my stock. Okay, that's fine. That's not an error. And then we want to give a message box. Nope, coming back a level. A message box dot show info. And we're going to put in and tell them that that's stock deleted. And then we'll give them the symbol to be, and then the text says removed. Okay, we are almost there. So I am coming up. We have one more module, and guess what? We have a really cool colleague who came in and decided to write this one for us. I'm going to expand this window. Whoops, wrong window. I'm going to expand my window over here and grab the code that they wrote for us. Okay, Windows, come on, there we go. technical difficulties. Alright, so there's a delete, and here is our display. So I'm going to grab this and come back to my Replit over here, go full screen with it, and now I'm going to put it here for my last module. Control V to paste. All right, and now we should be ready to run it and give it a try. Okay, so we're going to give it a run here. Oops. Okay, had a Y here somewhere I had to get rid of for some reason. Run it. And we should see our output window over here. And again, I had an error here. I just hit try again once I opened it up, and there it was. All right, now you can see my personalized stock manager. In fact, if I don't see your name in the stock manager menu, you will not get full credit for this lab. I'll be sending it back to you, asking you to edit that part. All right, so I'm going to try my GOOG, and that's Google, and 300 shares, and now I can hit new stock, and it adds it to the list. Wow. Okay, and now I can actually come in and import the CSV, and now I get that drop down list like I see in professional documents, and I can go pull in my information and then come look at the chart based on the information. It takes a minute there for it to load all that data and plot it all, but there we get our chart. Okay, they want a screenshot of the GUI working, and the best way to do that is to have entered one and then come back here. Where'd she go? Come on. Okay, so I'd come back here and do one more. And you can take a screenshot like this. And what this shows here is what you're selected on. So that you can take a screenshot now of either one of those showing that you've entered a share and that the GUI works. All right, and I'm going to tell you right now, if I can't read this, if it's too small on the screen and I can't read it, you're not going to get full credit for it. We really need to learn how to make these professional images and get them on our PowerPoints. Okay, our next one is the History tab. So to do the History tab, we had to have loaded our information. So remember to do your import and put in you can select the file there, so it makes it a lot easier. And then you come to your chart, display stock chart. And I guess I quit. So I have to come back. Oh, that was the wrong one. So I want to do my chart again. I didn't have data for IBM. So that's why it said, what are you talking about? Here you go. You ain't got nothing, but here's what you got. All right. So here's my one for Google. I can go ahead and get that. And remember, you should be able to see the data in here. And it shouldn't be, I don't need the code in this part. It's not asking me for that. So let's just give them our history. and then the complete reports. I'm going to go ahead and delete my box, come back over here and hit my history tab, close this, history, and there's the report. I can do both. I can grab a little screenshot of my history and put it over here along with a screenshot of the summary report as well. Okay, now that is looking pretty neat. I'll clean that one up. I can probably move that over here and that over there and give myself some more room. But yeah, now we have a nice report ready to submit for week 7. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the Replit walkthrough.